Hello everyone. I just tried to sneak up on a bunny. Didn't work out too well, but he went running across the field. But I wanted to do a video talking about pathways. As you can see at my house here, I've basically let the whole backyard, about half an acre, grow up over the last 2 years. This is the second full year. And I've done some trimming of the grasses as they got taller, and I did that in the spring, and they all stopped growing at that point. But I maintained these pathways just with a mower, and they're wide enough for like a wheelchair. I have ideas that it might end up being a good opportunity for tours to come through, usually mostly educational opportunities, things like that, but also just for me to wander around and forage through my food forest. And it's all fairly young and new and all that, but I wanted to walk you around a couple of them to show you, because I have regular mowed pathways, and then I have some that are sheet mulched and that are actually converting over to garden beds. So here I've just flipped the camera around, and from here, this is a kind of a far corner of my yard. Pathways that go all the way through. There's another one that goes all the way to the corner there. There's another one that splits up. But we'll kind of walk around and show you. I kind of randomly had mowed these pathways in. Initially they were a lot more narrow, and then over time I've really liked the look and then the access of having them wider. So like for example, this center area may end up being something else, maybe some sort of fire pit ringed with bushes and trees, and throughout all these grown up areas I might end up putting single mode pathways through just for more access. And when I started doing pathways through here, I actually followed the paths that the groundhogs were making. So down here to the right there's a culvert. Well, here's one of the pathways that the groundhogs would run through, and then this next one up here is where the culvert is. But you can see their fat little bodies running through, and they would basically cause an indent in the grasses. So I just kind of followed that. And then this one right here, this has all been sheet mulched all the way through here, going up there and then toward my house. And this is actually pretty awesome, because now that I've converted these over to planting areas, and they still need a little bit more dressing up with wood chips, but I planted them out with asparagus and a lot of different haskap and goji berry bushes. But it's right on the drip edge of that mulberry tree. So in the spring, I can actually walk through and just walk around here. There's some strawberries down there, so I can walk through, grab a whole bunch of mulberries, eat a couple of asparagus on the way to my my mailbox, which is over, well, it's behind the giant mulberry. There you go. And that's a really cool feature. And what I've done this midsummer here is I've mowed actual pathways to the side of it instead of trying to walk through, because I kept wanting to plant stuff and it was a lot harder to move around through. So and then straight ahead we have pathways that go around where all these maple trees had popped up, and I couldn't even tell you how many dozens of maple trees are just in this one area, and they're all over, spread throughout the yard as well. But it's nice because all the pathways are kind of curved, and once these, like this maple tree grows up, and there's a walnut tree up there, straight ahead is I think a peach. There's a couple of peach there, and a plum. I think there's another peach over here. And as those get bigger, it'll kind of close in the canopy of this whole area, which is going to be pretty awesome. And I would just let most of this go. I have marked out the trees as much as I can, but I stopped at like 800 flags because it just got too ridiculous. And then, well, I guess we ended up just making a circle here, but I'll go down to the road. And let me go down to the road here, and some of the other things that are really cool that have just popped up are these random flowers. These have been blooming for months, and they're really pretty. They just kind of keep flowering and going away and flowering and going away. Of course, those are some of the white flowers. Those are all done for the year. And then here's the road itself. So I keep a pathway kind of on the edge of the property, just to kind of show that it's being maintained. And it's just nice to have an edge. Oh, lost focus there. It's nice to have an edge. And I want to bring you around to the lot that's right next to mine that hopefully I'll be buying this year. And because this is a line from my property, it's straight down, and then everything to the left is not mine. It's like a derelict property. But what I've done here is we started letting this grow up all the way to up there, because this is just a gravel drive before, so I'm just trying to let nature take its course and rebuild some soil there. Let the worms and the plants do their thing. So it's not super noticeable yet, but this goes all the way to that path up here. And then all this will be open for kids to run around and jump around, whatever. And this is another spot where I might end up doing just a single pathway. Just mow a quick thing that joins up there. So there'll end up being more. I like the wide pathways, but it'd be nice to just have little access kind of routes. And then here I've purposely mowed a ring around this, so this is, instead of just a sharp cut off, this will be more rounded. Let me pause it here because I'm at like 6 minutes of recording. I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. So it's really cool how, even though that lawnmower took a crap and I gotta get rid of it, I still mow around it. That's one of the bird feeders that I fill like maybe once or twice a year. I don't use it I use it more to attract wildlife than really feed it. There's so many plants and bugs around here this year that they have more than enough to eat. Just my veggie bed on the left with mostly zucchini and tomatoes. It kind of took over everything. Some peppers and strawberries. And I got really lucky on these strawberries because they have just started spreading themselves, just leaping. Yeah, you see this one that's coming all the way, leaped all the way here. There's another one that's leaped over, that's leaped up over there. That's pretty awesome. So that'll be a huge amount next year. And then of course this asparagus is multiplied. And see how, well, this is one root cutting or one crown. That's another crown, and it's just amazing how much asparagus has come. So in the fall, probably December, I'll cut all that down, and then it'll regrow. Cut it down right to the ground level. And I wanted to show you. So this was originally what I thought all my pathways were going to be. Were just sheet mulched. I planted a couple of comfrey, obviously, right there and there. There's a blueberry right here. There's a hascap right by that flag here. And then there's a walnut that's popped up on its own. And so right now there's not, I could walk through here, but it's not especially accessible, especially if there's like a tour of people that want to come through. So this may end up getting mowed right here. but there's a lot of maple trees that would have to get mowed down, so I really don't want to do it. So I was thinking maybe I'd cut an access through here, but then I have a cherry tree that I planted, and this is another mulberry. So it's really not too sure exactly what I'm gonna do. And all these pathways actually came. I had actually bought a whole load of wood chips, dropped it all here. No, I ordered 10 yards in a dump truck to come here. I used all that wood chips to do these pathways, and then I ended up planting all my sunchokes, or Jerusalem artichokes, whatever they're called. And I'm here pretty soon. I'll be pulling all those, start cooking those up, get them stored. I mean, you can really just store it in the ground. There's no problem with that. Or I can just get a tub of dirt, just a Rubbermaid container, fill it with dirt, and put all the roots, the tubers in there, which is pretty cool. So this is what I planted this last year, and I'm expecting it to be 2 to 3 times thicker next year. And then let me show you this last pathway that I'm thinking about ringing this area up here with some evergreen barberry bushes this coming spring. It's like I don't remember all the different types, but there's like 4 or 5 different barbarous species that have edible berries, and a lot of people use it for the berberine and the stems and all that. I'm not too curious about that. I was looking for evergreen bushes that could give me berries, and I'm thinking that'll be primarily what goes around this mowed open area here. It'll block the view from these businesses and houses, and I'd like to fill in this edge with other trees. I'm just not sure what other plants I could use. I don't want to use just 100 barberry bushes, but it'd be nice to get more evergreens on this property, other than just the pines that I'd planted along the road. But it's pretty nice. This tree, whatever kind of tree it is, gives me a nice shade, and I can kind of hang out here. Once more of my trees get up and more bushes and stuff, I won't be able to see the neighbors so easily. And here in the next week or two, hopefully I'll get to planting, like pre-planting some of these seeds in the fall, flower seeds, just kind of randomly throughout the property, and it'll be a lot prettier next year. But I think that's it for today. Thanks for walking around with me. It's a really nice fall day. It's October 20th, and it's 70 degrees out here, so I figured it'd be a perfect time just to give you an update on what the yard looks like, how everything's growing, and hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. All right.